So yeah, so basically there's so before I tell you what sort of what the Scan Club is and what it looks like, I always approach foresight myself, but also with people who are new to foresight, or even if you're not new to foresight, with the idea that there's three things we need to know before we head into Scan Club. We're talking about the future, and one of them is that there's no future, but there are futures, and I think that's something that's sort of well known in this group. The second one I already talked about is that no one is an expert on the future, but we all have expertise about the future. So it's meant to be very inclusive. And the final thing is there's no objective futures thinking. And I think that this is something that, like, I really want to break that down. This idea that we should, as professionals, whether we're in foresight or if we're strategic planners, that we should be able to talk about the future very objectively. And that's just not the case. If we're, when we're talking about futures thinking or talking about the futures, we are always talking about hopes and dreams and our greatest fears. That the future is emotional, and that's a good thing. What is the future if not full of feelings? Because that's the human experience. So, and I just realized that I didn't actually put this onto presentation mode. So I'm going to do that. Okay, getting better with the technology year by year. So the purpose of Scan Club is really to bring people together to practice foresight and cultivate cultures of futures thinking, to share and acknowledge and listen to each other's futures. And so I'll kind of pause there. What I've noticed and what I sort of believe to be true is that we need to develop a skill of being able to listen to each other's futures. There is no one future. And so while I have a vision of the future, I can listen to someone else's vision of the future and someone else's vision and someone else's vision. And actually all those visions together create the rich future that we actually need and want. But it is a bit of a skill to a practice and a skill to listen to others' futures, especially when you're holding tightly to your own. And the other purpose is to meet people, to belong and work together. And so I'll emphasize the word of belonging. People should feel in a Scan Club or a regular meeting like they belong. They belong not only in this room, whether it's a digital room or in-person room, but that we belong together in this present moment, and we belong together in the future. So belonging is really important. And then also it's a way for us to collect signals of change to create trends that will inform valuable foresight materials. So it's also a way to create foresight materials that we can use. But I really want to put emphasis on the first three, that it's about practice and belonging and listening and being able to hold a lot of different futures. So Scan Club itself, just for the logistics of it, so what I typically do is I'll find a topic. And so right now at the library, we're doing the futures of work. So I'd ask the library staff and managers, like, what would be a useful topic? What could you use in your organization? And so they said part of their strategic plan, etc. They're diving into this idea of the futures of work and the futures of workforce development. So for me, I always find a project that this will feed into. Other Scan Clubs, I understand, are more like open scans, where it kind of be any topic potentially, or perhaps they'll do a topic, a different topic every session. But I've chosen to do always something that's project focused or project based, because I want people who are coming to these Scan Clubs to know that their work and their contributions are going somewhere. And then often I can, we take that work after Scan Clubs and create trends and create scenarios, and then I can send it back to those participants and say, see, this is what came out of your regular attendance to Scan Club. And it's really cool when people come, kind of email back and say, oh, I see my signals in the trends, and I didn't know how this was, all going to turn out, but I see my work in this, and that's really important.